Have you ever really looked at a succulent? Those small, unassuming plants you see everywhere on windowsills and in rock gardens? Well, today, we're going to dive into the really profound lessons that are hidden inside their simple little forms.
Yeah, at first glance, they really don't scream for attention, do they? They're just compact, a little fleshy, and honestly, super easy to overlook. They're kind of like the quiet ones in the corner of the plant world. But what if we lean in a little closer? What if all that quiet isn't just emptiness? I mean, what if they're actually speaking a language of endurance, of restraint, and maybe even hidden abundance? Okay, so let's get into it. There is definitely more to these plants than meets the eye. We're about to unpack how this incredibly common plant can teach us some pretty uncommon lessons about life.
And to really get their language, we have to start with the science behind them. What actually makes a succulent a succulent? Well, it all boils down to how they store the absolute essentials for life.
And there it is, right there in the definition. It all comes down to one crucial thing. They have these thick, fleshy parts that are designed to hold onto water. And this isn't just some cool party trick. No, this is an absolute masterclass in survival, something they learned from living in some of the toughest places on the planet.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this comparison. Most plants, they need a constant supply of water. It's like they're living paycheck to paycheck. If it doesn't rain, they're in trouble, and fast. But succulents, they operate on a totally different principle. It's like they're master investors. When the rain finally comes, they take it all in deeply, and then they carefully, strategically manage that resource for the long, dry haul. And this is how they pull it off. I mean, their whole design is just a monument to efficiency. Those tight little rosettes, that's to minimize water loss. The thick, waxy leaves, that's like a perfect seal to stop evaporation. And that kind of powdery film you sometimes see on them? That's literally natural sunscreen. Even the way they grow in these perfect mathematical spirals, it all points to this incredible built-in order. So all this amazing biology, it adds up to something bigger, right? It's not just about surviving. It's a whole philosophy of life. It's what we could call a language of restraint. Think about it. We live in a world that's always screaming for more, bigger, faster, constant growth. But succulents, they just kind of whisper this different idea, enoughness. They don't waste their energy on wild, sprawling growth. Everything is intentional, it's prepared. They really show us that you can get through the dry seasons, not because things are easy, but because you've stored up what you need on the inside. And get this, it's kind of counterintuitive. A lot of them have really shallow roots. You'd think deep roots equals strength, right? That's what we're always told. But for a succulent, their strength comes from being attentive. Those shallow roots are perfectly designed to soak up even the smallest bit of moisture. A light rain, a little morning dew. It's not about digging deep to find more, it's about being ready to receive whatever little bit is given. And the way they multiply, it's just incredible. It's so simple. A single leaf just falls off. Seems like it's broken, right? Done for. But you put it in the right spot, and over time, it grows roots. A whole new plant starts from that one little piece. It's this quiet reminder that new life can come from what looks like brokenness. It's proof that growth isn't always some big, loud explosion. Sometimes it's just quiet, patient, and almost invisible. Okay, this next part, this might be one of the most powerful lessons these plants can teach us. It's all about the surprising link between hardship and beauty. Usually, we think of stress as a bad thing, right? Something that breaks us down. But for a lot of succulents, it's the exact opposite. Things we'd call stressors, like really bright sun, or cold, or not enough water, that's what actually brings out their most incredible colors. Those amazing soft blues, dusty purples, the little red tips. That's the plant's beauty coming out because of the pressure. And the lesson in that is just so profound. What looks like a hardship from the outside is the very thing that's drawing out a deeper hidden beauty. It's almost like they're designed to reveal more of who they are, not less, when things get tough. So if we could actually listen to what these plants are saying, what would we hear? Well, I think the first message would be something like this. Store up what's good when you have it. When times are good, prepare. Hold on to what's true, what gives you life. And the second message, it's all about patience. You don't have to make a lot of noise or be super showy to be growing. Real, lasting growth that comes from quiet consistency, just showing up day after day.
And finally, maybe the most hopeful message of them all,
that even a broken piece can start all over again. A single leaf isn't the end of the story. It can be a whole new beginning. There's always, always a chance for renewal.
So let's bring all this home. What's the final takeaway from this quiet, tough little plant? What's its testimony for us?
It really comes down to this beautiful, simple rhythm. They're not rushing, they're not striving or fighting for attention. They just have this simple three-part flow. They receive what's given, they hold on to it, and then they respond when the time is right. And just by doing that, they manage to thrive in places you'd think nothing could grow.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question to ask ourselves. Maybe it's not always about chasing after more stuff out there. Maybe the real lesson is to learn how to hold on to what we've already been given. To really look at those small moments, those quiet truths, the provisions we might have just walked right past because they didn't seem like a big deal. Perhaps the real goal is to become a bit more like a succulent ourselves, prepared, sustained, and able to show our own true colors, especially when we're going through a dry spell.